Here we go. So where do we stop? We stopped on page Tov Tzadi Vav. Tov Tzadi Vav says that we're on this piece which says Upanimius Shlosh Rishonos the Yetzirah. So now we've moved up through the various different processes of the prayers to the Rishon, of the Shlosh Rishonos of its Yetzirah, Olim v'Naasa Chitzonius ala Malchus the Beriyah. So we have the principle that the Panimius, the Olomos, can rise, but the Chitzonius stays where it is and winds up being covered. Chitzonius achabad the Yetzirah. He said Naasa Panimius achabad the Yetzirah. It becomes the Panimius there. Ola Panimius achabad the Olam Yetzirah the Olam Abriya. So they all move up to Olam Abriya. But Naasa Chitzonius the Malchus Olam the Olam Abriya, which causes the previous Chitzonius to become Panimius. The Chitzonius Malchus the Beriyah. So now before he was talking, and he was using the word, I don't know why, but he was using the word Nai. So now he's separating Malchus from Nai. So when you go from Yetzirah to Beriyah, now you start making the gar of Yetzirah, B'Chitzonius Chitzonius on the Malchus of Beriyah. Naasa Panimius Lachem, it makes them Panimi. Ukshe Panimius Achabad the Olam Yetzirah Olam the Chitzonius of Malchus the Olam Abriya. As Chitzonius of Malchus the Olam Abriya Naasa Panimius the Chabad the Olam Yetzirah. So now he says what? It becomes the Panimius of the chabad the Olam Yetzirah. Well, you have the Panimius of Olam Yetzirah is now moved up on it. Ba'ofen shebemakom Chitzonius of Malchus shal Olam Abriya. So there you have this Sham ku Panimius HaChabad shal Olam Yetzirah, because the Chabad of Olam Yetzirah moved up onto and cover over the Malchus of Beriyah. U'makom Panimius of Malchus shal Olam Abriya, Sham ku Chitzonius of Malchus shal Olam Abriya. That's where you find the Malchus of the Olam Abriya. Panimius Malchus the Beriyah. Now you've now made the Malchus of Beriyah into a Panimius. So we now have added in the concept of Malchus here to this. I'm not sure why. Just notice it. So he's now moving from Malchus to the Nai. When it becomes a Panimius of Malchus of Beriyah, Oz Panimius of Malchus of Beriyah, the Olam Abriya becomes, it makes the Nai. V'Chitzonius Shlosh Tachton is the Beriyah, so now there's Nai, the Beriyah, Naasa Panimius Lachem, it makes them a Panimi. Panimius of Malchus the Olam Abriya, Naasa Chitzonius the Nai, the Beriyah, becomes a Chitzonius on top of that. Oz Chitzonius the Nai, the Beriyah, Naasa Panimius the Malchus the Beriyah, so it becomes now a Panimius the Malchus the Beriyah. The Nimsa Shebemalkam Chitzonius and now the Olam Abriya, so what used to be the Chitzonius and now the Beriyah, Sham Ku Makom Panimius and Malchus the Beriyah. So now you have now the Panimius there. Makom Panimius and now shall Olam Abriya, Sham Ku Makom Chitzonius and now the Beriyah. That's the place of the Chitzonius and now the Beriyah. Now he says, Panimius Shlosh Tachton is the Beriyah. So the Panimius. So now you're over the Panimius of the Nai the Beriyah. What happens to it? Olim v'Naasa Chitzonius al Shlosh Seiyus the Beriyah. It goes up and it becomes a Chitzonius on the Chagat the Beriyah. Kasher Chitzonius Anai the Beriyah. Naasa Panimius, as it's covered over by the Malchus of the Chitzonius of the Malchus of Beriyah, or I guess the Panimius of the Malchus of Beriyah, which makes it a Chitzonius. Naasa Panimius Anai the Beriyah becomes a Panimius Anai the Beriyah. But all Panimius Anai the Olam Abriya, it can go up. It Ola Lamala. But Naasa Chitzonius al Chagat the Olam Abriya, it becomes Chitzonius on the Chagat, making the Chitzonius the Chabad in the Panimius. The Chitzonius Shloshem is the Beriyah Naas and Panimius Aleh. Because all the Panimius Anai the Beriyah, so he explains it out again. But Naasa Chitzonius the Chagat the Beriyah. Oz Chitzonius shal Chagat the Beriyah, that good old Chitzonius of the Chagat the Beriyah. Naas and Panimius Anai the Beriyah, it becomes the Panimius of the Nai the Beriyah. So I think I think the word should be Chagat the Beriyah. But anyway, let's go on. V'kein al derek zeh, the same way goes all the way through. V'kein al zu ha derek shekasav kan rab b'seder elyon. Seder elios. The handish panimius ha tachton Ola Lamala. So the basic rule is that Panemius, it can move up. V'naasa Hitzonis ba'elyon, it becomes the Hitzonius and the Elyon. V'Hitzonius Elyon, Naasa Panemius ba'oso olam atzmo. So it becomes once again another break from our sponsors, Hashem Yisbaruch, thanking Hashem for bringing us to the place where we can learn. So here we come back, and we'll try to get a little bit more done here. Okay, so it says, so olim kesedach medregos and iskarim kain olim kol medregos shalamala mamash ba'osach haseder shehizkir kan. So what we're mentioning over here is the way that everything works. Kan harav, he says shepenimios ha'elyon ola lamala b'medregaso v'naasa sham kitzonius v'chitzonius shal ha'elyon naasa penimios the osa olam atzma. So he said, "B'penimius atachtam ola al elyon." He also slow chitzonius to become chitzonius there. Now, once the bottom moves up, in other words, the penimius becomes a chitzonius on the upper level, that stays there because there's nothing else coming up below it to make it into penimius, so it could rise. So basically, the chitzonius of the here we have the the nai moving up on top of the and becoming a chitzonius for the chagat. Well, that chitzonius doesn't have anything else down below it that's going to move it up, and so it's going to become a penimios. So maybe that's the concept where we say that the chitzonius really doesn't move. Ad shenimsa until you find this v'keven shechitzonius achagat the olam abriya naasa penimius lachagat the bria. So it's now becoming a penimius achagat, and the penimius of this chagat. The bria oil lamala v'naasa chitzoni the chabad the bria. Now you're moving really up. The chitzoni is chabad the bria. Naasa ata penimius the chabad the bria. Naasa penimius. Ki penimius God the bria. Ola v'naasa chitzoni is el malchus. Malchus the atzilus. Ficha penimius chabad the bria. Ola l'tzilus v'naasa sham chitzonius el malchus the atzilus, and it becomes the chitzonius. And once again, we have Malchus in the game, which we didn't seem to have in Olam Asiya or Olam Yetzirah. So he said, Sham Kitzonius al Malchus. So I'm assuming it just consumed in it. I'm not sure why the difference in the language. V'naasa Sham Kitzonius al Malchus Tatzilus. Nukva the Zad Tatzilus. This is the Nukva of Zeranpin and Tatzilus. V'zera the Malchus Tatzilus. He nuked the Zeranpin Tatzilus. For Kitzonis Malchus Nukva the Zeranpin the Chatzilus, so the Kitzonius of that Malchus, Naasa Penimius Alechem, now it's become a Penimius. Because She'oder Penimius Achabad the Bria, so this is Bria coming on top of Malchus of Etzilus. Lamala B'Etzilus, but Naasa Kitzonis the Malchus shall Nuk the Zeranpin the Chatzilus, and it makes that possible. So he says, V'oz, a Kitzonis the Malchus shall Nukva, Naasa Penimius a Malchus shall the Nukva the Olam Atzilus. The Penimius a Malchus the Nukva the Zad Atzilus, and now the Penimius of the Zad Atzilus, Olav and Naasa Kitzonius of Shlosh Tachtonis the law. So the same process is continuing on. Kitzonis a Malchus the Nuk the Zad Atzilus. He says Naasa Penimius the Malchus the Nuk the Zad Atzilus, and now it's become Penimius, and it becomes a Penimius. As the Penimius can move up, a Malchus shall Nuk the Zad the Olam Atzilus, Olav and Naasa Kitzonis of Shlosh Tachtonis the Malchus the Olam Atzilus. Now wait a minute. I'm going too fast because it's so much repetition. Let me just read the last one again. Kitzonis a Malchus the Nuk the Zad the Atzilus Naasa Penimius the Malchus the Nuk the Zad becomes Penimius. As Penimius a Malchus shall Nuk the Zad the Olam Atzilus. Ola v'naasa chitzonius al shlosh tachtonis the Malchus the Olam Atzilus. And now we're not moving up from Malchus to the Nai. We're moving up to the Nai of the Malchus. That's what I think I missed. It's getting more detailed here. Shehem netzachod yisod shabbat. This is the netzachod, the Nai of the Malchus. V'shlosh tachtonis al the Malchus aim the Nai shalom. The Kitzonius Netzachod Yisod Shabbat Naasim Penimius because of this movement, but you're working only here in Malchus. The Kitzonius Anai shall the Nuk the Zan Naasim Penimius Anai the Malchus Anuk. Okay, now Derek Zeh, so you could just keep moving up through Malchus of Al Derek Zeh. Shepinimius atachnon olav naasa kitzoni ba'elyon. V'yitzonis atachnon naasa penimius the osa olam shu nimsebo ata. So now that what was before the kitzonius is now going to is now going to become a penimius. Olam can say the medregus, and this continues to go up through the order of the different levels. Kain al derek al zeh haderek. He's olam called a medregus shalamalo. Ba'oven shepenimius anai the nuk the zah, so that when you get to the nai of the nuk the zah ba'olav and the asgitzonis the chagad shal atzma of the chagad of the malchus. V'yitzonis a chagad shal the nuk naas penimius a chagad shal. So now it becomes the penimius of the chagad of the nuk. The penimius a chagad shal the nuk olav and the asgitzonis a chabad shal. Now we've gotten all the way through the nuk, and so we're just in one sphere, which is malchus. Then it comes like this, and when we get to the penimius of the shlosh of the gar of the nook, I think we may be done here. That might be the last part of this. We're trying to go as fast as trying to get through this. It's a lot of repetition, and so therefore, following the bouncing ball, you have to look at it really closely because there's so much repetition to get to that point. Okay, we're not quite done. Okay, good. Okay, so I kind of lost the place. So I guess we'll go to number kuf. Where are we? I lost the place. V'kein al derek zev. This kufayin gimel. Al derek zul shepenimios atachton olav naasa kitzoni ve'elni v'chitzoni atachton naasa penimios the osa olam. Now what used to be the chitzonius shul nimsa bo ata. Olam Keseder Medregos, everything goes up according to the order of Medrego. Kain al Zua Derek Olim call a Medrego Shalamalo. Bovish Penimius Anai, the Nook, the Za, Olav and the Asa Hitzonis, the Chagat, Shalo Atma, the Hitzonis, the Habit Shalo Nook, the Asa Penimius, the Chagat Shalo, that can move up a Penimius, the Chagat Shalo Nook, Olav and the Asa, the Hitzonis, the Habit Shalo. Now we're moving like this. Until we get to the penimius of her gar. Olav and the asa kitzonis el malchus the zah. It comes to the kitzonis of malchus the zah the tzilos. Now where are we here? Both and shepenimius achabad shal lenuk the zah. So now we're going here to the penimius of the ola or malvish and the asa kitzonis shal hamalchus the zer anpin the tzilos. So now we're going to go more specifically in all these different cases. Kitzonius, the Malchus, the Zan, the Asa, Penimius, Alechem, it makes it that what was the Kitzonius, it makes it into Penimius. So he says, Penimius, Ahabad, the Nuk, and the Asa, Kitzonius, El, the Malchus, the Zan. As Kitzonius, the Malchus, the Zan, the Asa, Penimius, the Chabad, Shalanuk. So that becomes the Penimius of the Chabad, what was the Chabad of the Nuk. Penimius, the Malchus, the Zan, Olav and the Asa Kitzonis al Shlosh Tachtonis the Zah. So the same process that we were talking about before. We have just a couple more to do here. Ogashachitzonis and Malchut the Zah and the Asa Penimius and Malchut the Zah becomes the Penimius. As Penimius and Malchut Shal Zah, Olav and the Asa Kitzonis the Nai the Zah goes up and it makes a Kitzonis on the Nai. So they move up to the Nai. The Kitzonis Shlosh Tachtonis the Zah, Asa Penimius alach. So now they change into Penimius. Because all the Penimius and Malchut Shal Zah goes up. But Naasa Kitzonis the Nai the Zah, it becomes a Kitzonis from the Nai. As Kitzonis the Nai the Zah, Naasa Penimios, a Nai the Zah. And that's what we've gotten to right now. Thank you so much for learning with me. This is Baruch Flashman here at the Tikkun Elevator Kollel.